sure that we know what Revelation 1:5 says, because there's a promise in that. Verse 3, blessed is the one who reads and those who hear the words of this prophecy. Keep those things which are written in it. The time is near. So there's a blessing in hearing the Word of God, and the blessing in reading the Word of God. And I've got a little summary here of the features of the New Jerusalem.
It's not true what the book says about it. It's not true what the book says.
Thank you.
Will someone please read Revelation 21:16? We're going to look at some of the physical features of this city, and then we've got some spiritual features of the city. And then I want to come back and look at verses 19 and 20.
Revelation 21:16. When he measured it, he found it was a square as wide as it was long. In fact, its length and width and height were each 1,400 miles.
Now I like maps, and so I've got this map of the United States. And I did something I don't normally do. I marked it up. I tried to see how far it is from Portland to 1,400 miles east. It goes from almost near Minneapolis, St. Paul. Oh, okay, good. From down to past Brownsville, go over to San Diego, or south of San Diego. This is approximately 1,400 miles. That's how big just one side of the New Jerusalem is going to be. And that's going to be a cube. It's going to come out this way. I think it's equal heights, equal width, equal depth. It's going to be a big place. When God does something, He does it big. Okay?
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. And it says that this location, it says, will be someplace between heaven and earth. And some have suggested that it touches the earth, but nowhere do we see that it does touch the earth. Its layout, it has a wall, a great wall.
It had a great high wall with 12 gates, and with 12 angels at the gates. On the gates were written the names of the 12 tribes of Israel.
In the ancient world, the walls, a city was very important to have thick walls. This is going to be a very high wall. Gates and these cities were very important to protect the people in and to keep the enemies out. But we're going to find out that this wall is going to have some gates in it, and the gates are always open. The gates are always open because there is no sin, no sinners, no danger to the people inside the New Jerusalem. This is 19 and 20. It talks a little bit about the gemstones that will be on this wall. There's an interesting problem that I have in verse 18. It says the construction of the wall was of jasper. The city was pure gold like glass. Jasper is a stone that's pretty common. This is a piece of jasper. It's usually a red stone. It's got some. Oh my goodness. Okay. It is basically quartz with a little bit of iron in it. It turns it red. Oxidation, and again, it is opaque. You cannot see through this, can you? No. Now I'm going to hold up another piece of jasper here and see if you can see through it. Okay. Do you see that piece of jasper? Can you see through it? Of course you can. Yeah. So I'm suggesting that maybe my father was a coin collector, and among other things, he collected all kinds of nickels and dimes and quarters and pennies. And after he passed, I took some of those things and bought some gold. And this is a coin, a U.S. coin. It supposedly is 99.99% pure gold. No, don't let me see it. But it's a $10 gold piece. And my wife says, what are you going to do with that? You're going to go to the store and spend $10 to buy whatever? No, I'm not. I'm going to keep this. There will not be gold streets in heaven. Don't think about that. And even though it says something about this, it says the street of gold. It's a singular. And it's going to be
pure gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
I just have a question about the gates. There's 3 gates on
Each side? Yeah.
Yeah, but there's 6 sides.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's only the directions.
Yeah, I guess so. Some suggested that it could be like a pyramid shape. One side in height, and then there would be 4 sides on that. Figure also fits. And then in Revelation 22, verse 1, it talks about a water for this city. The water is going to be as clear as glass. And that's something that we already know. Okay, let's look at some of the spiritual features of the city. Will someone read 21, verse 2?
And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven like a bride, beautifully dressed. Praise the Lord.
You are going to be a bride. How's that sound?
Lord, that means
Women like to get dressed up when they get married, don't they? Yeah, they get all adorned up and they get fancied up and they look nice. And we will be just like that for our groom. And then in verse 3, it says the tabernacle of God is with men. He will dwell with them and they will be His people. In verses 21, verse 11, having the glory of God, His light was like the most precious stone, like jasper, clear as crystal. This is another place where jasper is spoken of as being clear. And it's going to be interesting to see how we make something that is opaque to us and will be totally clear. And then its gates are never closed. Revelation 21:25. I've been thinking about that. You always have gates on. We have doors on our place. We have doors on the church. We have doors to keep people out. These gates will always be open because there will be no sin, no sinners, no danger in this place. You mentioned the nations of the earth. It talks about the kings will bring their glory and honor into it. The kings of the earth will bring their glory and honor into it. What is the glory and the honor of the nations? Is it the national parks that we have in our nation? Is it the Eiffel Tower? Is it the Japanese gardens? What would be the glory and honor of the nations? I think it might be the people. We're guaranteed that there will be people from every tribe and every nation walking through these gates. And they'll all be regenerate. They'll all have their names written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Chapter 22, we talk about some other things that God has provided for life and for His service. Now going back to Revelation 21:19. Got another handout, Mark. I went through several commentaries to see more about these gemstones. And I'm going to try an experiment here and see if it works. This is my representation of the New Jerusalem. Equal sides, equal distance, equal length on all sides. It talks about these 12 gemstones that will decorate the sides of the New Jerusalem. And they said that every person on earth right now could fit in Malheur County over in Oregon.
Oh, yeah?
And they wouldn't touch each other. Because, okay, the first stone is what?
Is that what the Bhagavan was?
It was near there, yeah. The first stone is said to be jasper. So we're going to put this is what jasper looks like. I'm going to put that on here and hope that sticks. It did, good. The second one is what?
Sapphire.
Okay. I've got pictures of all of these stones except for one. And we'll put some sapphire over here. What's the third one? Okay, yeah, it looks like chalcedony. This is a mispronunciation. There's three of these gemstones that begin with the CH as their first two letters. But in this case, it's a K sound like a cut. Like you mentioned, it's a chi, I think it's like an X or something. And so it's chalcedony. I want you to say it together. Chalcedony. Say it again.
Chalcedony.
What's the fourth one? Emeralds. Okay, got a picture of some emeralds here. Emeralds in the ancient world were thought to be very precious stones, and even today they're still highly regarded. What's the fifth one? Sardonyx, or carnelian is another name for it. Put that up here. And the sixth one?
Carnelian.
Okay, hold up. And see, okay, these are in order. The sardonyx is the fifth one, I'm sorry. Put that over here someplace. And the seventh one?
Chrysolite?
Yeah, the chrysolite. Chrysolite, okay, very good. Let's take that one over here. And what's the eighth one?
Beryl.
Okay, beryl. Or another name for that is, it's right here. Okay. Okay, what's the ninth one?
Topaz.
Topaz. Okay, here's a picture of some topaz. The ninth one is chrysoprase. It's like this. 11th one is jacinth. Jacinth, yeah. That right here.
And then amethyst.
And then amethyst. That's the 12th one. It's getting crowded here, folks. On top. Okay. Okay, this is a very crude representation of what I think maybe the New Jerusalem might look like just on the decorations on the outside. But the best is yet to come. Now, if God will be the light on the inside of this church, this temple, this place, and all His light will be going through through all these crystals. And our eyesight now can only see a very small spectrum of it. We see certain colors in a certain very narrow frame of our. But I believe we're going to have new eyes, won't we? How many?
Yes.
Yeah. We're
Yes.
going to see new colors, I believe. And so when God's light goes through all these crystals, it will be an amazing place to see. Okay, on the handout, all the names are listed there. But I've written the chemical formula for these things off for each one. But 6 of them are quartz. And quartz, the chemical formula for quartz, which I have right here, is silicon dioxide. It is the most common mineral on the face of the earth. and is also the chemical formula for 6 of these precious stones. Now, how can that be if it's the same chemical formula and we get different colors? Well, it's sort of like that in a glass of water, and you put a red food coloring in it. Is it still water? It's just red water, or green water, or one of these, the minerals were liquid. And when they were cooling, they absorbed some of the minerals and color from the surrounding area where they were. So God is taking the most common mineral on the face of the earth, right here, and transforming it into some of the most beautiful gemstones that we got here. But what's supposedly a woman's best friend? Diamond, yeah. We don't see diamonds here. I was kind of curious about that because I read once that diamonds really weren't discovered like they are today until about 1800 or so. But they did have some diamonds in the ancient world, and I'm not sure where they came from. Okay, what I have in the bag here are some chalcedony. Let's say that word together. Chalcedony. Okay. And that will be about all I have for the chapter 21, and that's all I was really prepared to talk about. But if you guys can say the word chalcedony, I'll give you one of these things. I'll give you some samples to go and take these over. And, it will be unbelievable. What will be our response when we see this? When we see this New Jerusalem?
Praise Jesus.